Welcome back, traders and investors. We have some Southern Fried interview here. We have Leigh Jones, founder and trader at pittrades.com. Leigh, how you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm ready to trade. How about you?
Oh yeah, triple witch. Do you have any just off the bat? Do you have any particular strategies for these expirations?
Well, normally I sell puts, and I love for expiration to show up every week for me. So even though it's quad witching, it's really in just the way I trade. It's not that big of a deal because I do the weeklies.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But you like to speak about starter accounts, and that's your key interest. So you like to get people that are just getting up and going into markets. What like for a starter account size? What do you consider that as far as when people are looking to get in the market?
I have people that trade $500 accounts to $2,000 accounts. Those are the starter accounts.
Wow.
Those guys cannot do the pattern day trading. So that's how we try to, my goal is to teach people how to take that 500 and double it. Then we'll pull that initial 500 off, and we'll go again, and we'll go again, and we'll go again. And to be honest with you, I've been trading a long time, and I still trade starter accounts, anywhere from 500 to 1,000 to keep my skills very sharp, because you can't make a lot of mistakes when you're trading an account that size.
No, no, and you probably can't take on much risk either. Also, you like to start, teaching children. So, so the investors that have children in the market, how young do you try and educate people about the market?
Mine started in the third grade. And it starts by, I've started them as young as the second grade. First grade, they don't quite get it. But by second grade, they understand companies. They understand companies that they like to watch either on TV, Disney. One of the first stocks my daughter ever bought was Disney, just because Disney was such a household name. And she gets her birthday money or Christmas money, a little bit of allowance. And, we gave her an incentive to, do some chores around the house to get extra money. To buy maybe one or two shares in with ours, and she'd have her little portfolio and keep up with Disney. She had Disney, she had PepsiCo, she had Home Depot. One day I remember Home Depot tanked on news, and at that time there was no online trading. So now I'm gonna date myself, but there was no online trading. So I was calling the broker to pick up some Home Depot after it had dropped, and she had enough money to buy one share. And she popped that share in there with us, and sure enough, she made $15 or $20 on that, and we pulled the profits off, pulled it back out, and she waited for the next stock to drop. And she went right in with us. She had enough to do one share. And that's how she learned.
And so you like to equate that to, a starter account for a kid, starter account for an adult, right? It's still the same basic principles that you're teaching.
Correct. And what may be a $500 or a $2,000 starter account for one person may be a $20,000 or a $200,000 account for somebody else. So it's really relative to the size count they're trading. It's still the same skills. You've got to have your risk management. You've got to have your emotions intact. You've got to be able to control those emotions. And, that seems to work for me. I've been around a long time. I was real tickled when online trading came along because I was paying $150 commission to get into a trade and $150 to get out. And then as the brokers, got a little more savvy, I got it to where it was $50 a leg. So then when online brokerages came along, I thought $29.95 a leg was sweet.
Right.
And
so the name of your site is pittrades.com. So do you have any experience from the pit, or are you just using that for your moniker?
We're just using that, and actually the only reason we used that is I had a contest when I opened up the site, and that was the name that was chosen because I take people on tours. I've had several sponsors, and we fly to Chicago, and we go to the SIBO, CME, and so that's where that came from.
Okay, so you've worked with a lot of different companies, including Fortune 100 organizations, speaking, training. So whether it's a youngster trying to learn about the markets, or you're working with new investors, could you kind of walk us through, your methodology, what you try and teach, and then, incrementally, how do you change things?
Sure. I do options, and I also do the stock. So if it's over $25, I'll usually trade the option. Now, I do day trade the option. So like right now, I'm just going to be a little quick because I know listeners may be looking at something ahead of the open, and I've already flagged, obviously, CarMax, Smith & Wesson's down. So I'm going to be trading the options on those at the open. So what I try to do is get people to get a portfolio of stocks that they can watch. I'm a lazy trader. I do not want to spend hours and hours and hours with research. So I have about 40 stocks that I watch. I rotate those out each day or each week, depending on whether they're moving or whether, as I call it, they're stuck in the mud. And if they're moving, I will trade them. And if they're not, I rotate them out for another mover. And once I've done that, then in the mornings, I begin to look, because I'm a gap trader and a price trader, I look at the movers for the morning. So that will be what I call my morning vitamin. Everybody needs a vitamin each day. So we look at what's moving. And I try to teach them how to find those movers and go up with it on the calls or the stock, or go down with it with the puts or shorting. And we try to get at least some income that first hour, hour and a half.
So
And everything else is gravy for the rest of the day if we trade.
So how are you looking at this CarMax here? Now, they came out with some blockbuster numbers, trading significant higher here. So you're looking for a little bit of a pullback here, trading up $7.39. So if you didn't have a position coming in here, wow, it could be tough to buy it. So
Let me tell you what I do, and I do one of these every morning as a rule. It's a vitamin. It's got to be up enough that I can catch it, and it is just a matter of I get 2 or 3 orders with different strikes, and you have to learn how to do this. This is not something that somebody could do in a starter account. This is for more advanced, so I don't mind touching on that right now. But I will go in with 3 or 4 strikes, and I will take 6 or 7 orders, and I'll get a feel on one of those, and I'll ride that thing up, and I'm out usually the first minute.
So you think things are a little bit overdone here in CarMax, and you're going to?
No, I'll go up with it if it looks like it's going to gap up. I'll go up with it, and then I'll wait for it to pull back, and I rarely do the puts when it's up like that. I did it on open last week, and that worked beautifully, because open was up, I've forgotten how much at the time. So it was up so much I couldn't quite ride that gap up. So I waited and grabbed it at the top and then rode the put down. It's just a minute and a half trade. Those are very fast. That's why we call them vitamins. We swallow them quickly. If we don't get a feel, we move on and find something else in the next 15, 20 minutes. But those vitamins have been really sweet to me, and it's just a matter, like I said, of setting like 6 or 7 orders, different strikes, different offers from me. I will get a feel usually in one of those, and I have to ride it fast. I mean, it's very fast.
Okay, so you use a limit here? Do you try and use,
exactly. It's a limit, yes.
A quick exit point if it goes against you? Do you try and use a stop? Do you have predefined targets?
With this, not usually, because I have a chance. Because I don't go in with a full position. Like, in all fairness, if I'm a 20 to 50 contract person, I'm only going to go in with about 10, and that way I can add to it if I need to. I'll add to it another 10, 15, and boom, flip it back out. And I rarely lose on these. Rarely do I lose on these. And it's just because I've done it all these years.
Okay, so this is a strategy for more sophisticated traders,
Absolutely.
right? So so what would you give to the newbies that are trying to trade this?
The newbies right now, we've enjoyed just staying with some of the stocks, because we've got this I want to say conditions that make it a little nervous to trade. Everybody's bullish. Everybody gets bullish. I get nervous because I end up taking the other side of that trade. We've had fun recently with some of the IPOs, and one of my favorite IPOs right now that we've traded is CSLT, and we know to pick that up around $13, ride it up to $17, and so I kind of show them. I give them here's a good entry. We look at moving averages. I trade on a 3-minute chart. I'm trading during the day, and I try to show them, what I call it herd trading, what the herd might be looking at. Have I built my own algorithms? I have. We have access to all that, but I need them to be able to eyeball what the herd's trading. So we look at the moving averages, select our entries, and then we work our targets from there. And I usually give them anywhere from 8 to 10 targets. Those that are working, I have a lot of part-time folks. They swing trade it. Those that can day trade it. My starter accounts know which target to try to work. And we try to stay away right now from things that get a lot of blog attention. If it gets a lot of attention, it's too newsy right now for new people. It's just...
Okay, let's talk about, you said you have some standard stocks that you like to follow on your list and trade. Could you give us some of those symbols and how you approach those?
Well, let me give you a few that we're working right now, because I like to, again, as a gap trader, I like to trade it from the gap up or the gap down.
Okay.
So right now we have been trading, as I mentioned, the CSLT. I have enjoyed BLOX, Infoblox. That one's dropped. I love to pick things that have a good way that can move up. And that way, if I'm on the wrong timing, I can wait on it a day or so. We are doing SNSR right now. We have enjoyed that one. We did GoGo, but GoGo is a whipper stock, so you've got to really know what you're doing with that one. I like some of the Chinese stocks, so I will trade like DANG, D-A-N-G. Some of these others that really get some movement, again, as a price trader during the day. I have to be careful with those if I'm holding overnight, so I try to select things that, again, will stay away from the news a little bit. Options that I trade just about every day: Amazon, Netflix. Used to trade Apple. I used to tell everybody an Apple option a day keeps the bills paid. But when it's split, I've kind of pulled back from that. But Amazon and Netflix are just about daily option trades for me. You trade it up, you can trade it down, back up, back down. Get several trades each day with the options on that.
Okay, and so are you looking at the charts when you're going into these trades, or are you just looking, at the volatility?
3 minutes. Yep, 3 minutes. 3 minute chart. Mm-hmm.
Oh, 3 minutes.
Watching candles. Mm-hmm.
Wow, 3 minutes. Okay, and so do you have any setups for Amazon today?
Well, today I probably won't do anything for the first 15 minutes with Amazon unless it looks like it's going to gap up. Then I'll try to do that vitamin strategy that I called. Otherwise, we'll sit there and watch it. I watch it against the 200 on the 3 minute, and I'll see how close it is to the 200, and then I'll make my decision. If there's plenty of room up to the 200 on the 3 minute, I may take the trade. If I'm above it on the 200, I may take it. But if I'm that close, within a few pennies of that 200, I'll wait. That is just something I've done for 15 years. If it's too close to that, I won't take the trade. So it's above it or below it, there's plenty of room for me to get a trade.
Okay, Leigh, I'm sorry. We're having some real problems with our connection here, but you've given us some insights into your trading. We appreciate it, and sorry about the bad connection. We will try and have you on back again, okay?
All right, sounds great. Thank you, Joel. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.